I made my money back on the course in the first week. So it was a no-brainer. The first month I joined your program, by far the highest total amount of closed. My closing percentage went up a huge amount. It completely changed the confidence I had in myself. Just having a coach that actually reviews your calls with you instead of a coach that says they're going to do that and then doesn't, that just completely changes the quality of your conversations you're having on the call. Wherever you are in life, if you have a group chat where you look in your phone and someone's made 10 grand in 5 days, you know that person. I've done a role play with that person. It makes you realize that you could do that as well. There is nothing stopping me from doing exactly the same thing. It's really difficult to tell the difference between the bro closers on Instagram and the people that are legit. And the thing about you is you've got your full calls on YouTube. Like, actually watch them. And if there's someone out there that you're looking at working with and you haven't seen a full call, don't even bother. That's the first thing I'd say. The big difference with how you teach it is you have a series of questions that brings them to the conclusion of what has been holding them back. And that's the big difference. So now when I'm in a call, I'm not prescribing and telling them to get deeper. They arrive there themselves. And that's the big difference and what you've taught me over the last couple of months. I'm a lot more confident in that.
Jumping straight into things then, Connor, kind of give everybody a little bit of background on yourself in regard to how you got into the closing space and sort of your journey up until this point.
Yeah, sure. So I did 12 years of corporate sales. And I started cold calling 150 calls a day, 4 hours on the phone for a contract publisher, ended up working my way up, running a division of that company. I then pivoted into trade shows, ended up being a sales director on trade shows, and then pivoted again into tech. And I have operated at the highest level of B2B sales for, I'd say, a good 5, 6, 7 years, earning well over the 100 grand mark, multiple years, smashing over 100% of targets. And I got to the top sales director of, I won't say the company name of, but corporate sales. Let's just leave it like that. And the problem is that you're paying a 64% marginal tax rate on every pound you earn.
Which
It's
is crazy.
mental. And the year that I earned the most amount of money, HMRC put me on emergency tax code and they owed me like 10 grand and they didn't pay me it for a year.
Wow.
It's ridiculous. Like you're earning it. You look at the net, the gross amount, the net amount. I mean, there was one month I earned £29,000 and 12 grand hit my bank account. And I absolutely, yeah, I can show you the payslip. And it broke my heart because I had to sacrifice friends, family, relationships, romantic relationships to get to that level in corporate sales. And that's just taking out your paycheck. Whereas with closing, you're self-employed. You can, like, I expensed your program against tax. I can expense trips. I can expense clothing. I can expense heating bills, phone bills. You can't do that as a PAYE employee. So that's why I made the change.
Let everybody know how long it's been since you've been in the closing space specifically.
I've been closing consistently in the high ticket closing space for 9 months.
What was it that actually originally caused you to want to work with myself?
I came from a very corporate sales background. The problem with corporate sales and B2B sales, you can't really delve into holding people accountable because it's not really appropriate to hold a C-suite executive accountable on the issues that they have with their mindset or the issues that are holding them back, because it's just not how corporate B2B sales is done. Whereas with high ticket sales, especially with B2C prospects that have bad mindset problems, you have to challenge that. And I didn't have that skill set. And that's where I see Ethan and this program, the biggest strength is being able to, in a non-confrontational way, challenge people on the mindsets that's holding them back.
How long have we been working together for now?
It's been 2 and a bit months, isn't it?
Nice. So over the last 2 and a bit months, what wins and what developments have you made since working with myself and us working together?
So the first month month I joined your program, by far the highest total amount of closed. My closing percentage went up a huge amount. It completely changed the confidence I had in myself. Just having a coach that actually reviews your calls with you instead of a coach that says they're going to do that and then doesn't, that just completely changes the quality of your conversations you're having on the call. And I made my money back on the course in the first week. So it was a no-brainer.
You brother cooked. I think it goes without saying that the only reason as to why that was possible was because of your determined effort to master the skill of sales effectively. So showing up frequently, putting blood, sweat, and tears into the process to get to that point. Outside of myself, how has being a part of our community and being inside the brotherhood and having that element coincided and helped with your success?
Having a place where you look in your phone and someone's made 10 grand. I mean, how much did Morgan make in a week?
He made 10 grand in 5 days.
So I'll start the answer again. Wherever you are in life, if you have a group chat where you look in your phone and someone's made 10 grand in 5 days, you know that person. I've done a role play with that person. It makes you realize that you could do that as well. There is nothing stopping me from doing exactly the same thing. Making it real to yourself that you can achieve those things because you've seen the people that you know really well do it as well. It makes it real, but also holds you accountable. Like, I'll be totally honest, I skipped the gym for about the first month I was in the program because I was so focusing on closing. I was working 16-hour days. And after realizing that actually, do you want to have a lot of money in the bank that be fat and unhealthy? No. The ultimate reason is we get into high ticket closing because we want a balance. We want to be able to earn lots of money, but have the freedom alongside it. I then changed my ways. So I've now brought the gym routine back into my life, going 4 times a week consistently and eating a lot better, actually eating vegetables, just small things like that. So
It's little things that count.
Yeah, it's consistency about actually turning up in the way you need to turn up.
Massively. And I think it all coincides, as we chat about quite frequently. Your state dictates and determines your sales performance, especially if you want to get into this career for the long run. So if we don't build the foundations that enable you to have this uplifted, congruent state day to day, then you can't necessarily expect to see the same reflected in your commission check at the end of each month.
And that's another big difference. Coming from the corporate sales background, it's not a lot of the time about your state because there's so many other variables, like who are you up against, what's your product, how is the market doing at the moment. You're often not speaking to the decision maker. That person then has to go present that internally. High ticket, it's not like that. And the one variable is you. How are you actually mentally turning up for the calls? Because maybe you might have an objection, but ultimately it's about that conversation you're having. You win and lose in that hour. It's not about whether or not your competitor undercuts you. It's about what are you like in that hour. So you're right. It can't just be focusing solely on your talk tracks or your script. You have to think about you and how you're turning up to the calls. It made me realize I wasn't as good at sales as I thought I was because I wasn't doing sales. I was doing something else. But the craft and the skill of sales is really tested in the high ticket space. Like you're going to be shown up pretty quick if you don't know what you're doing.
Getting into a little bit more specifics, what would you say what I've done and what I've helped with specifically has actually contributed and allowed you to have, your best performing month to date?
At first, you're not getting deep enough into a conversation. I was saying, okay, this is the reason, but if you think about it, everyone has like a devil on the shoulder. And if you want to be that 2.0 version of you, let's go a bit deeper. Like, what actually is the problem? And the problem with that is it's super prescriptive. And the person sat there and they're like, why the hell is this guy giving me an analogy about devils and angels 2.0 versions of you? Like, why are you doing that? And that was because I was listening to a lot of the kind of bro Instagram closers. I will be perfectly honest. The problem with that, it's very unnatural. And that's what I was doing in my calls.
Yeah.
The big difference with how you teach it is you have a series of questions that brings them to the conclusion of what has been holding them back. And that's the big difference. So now when I'm in a call, I'm not prescribing and telling them to get deeper. They arrive there themselves. And that's the big difference and what you've taught me over the last couple of months. I'm a lot more confident in that.
That's such a beautiful way to put it. And it's goes without saying that that's how to actually have moving conversations that actually enable people to truly shift their environment, their life, and take themselves to that next level. What would you say then to a closer that sat on the fence about joining our community and taking that step?
I think the best thing you said to me is that whatever objection you are giving is the objection you're going to get. The question is like, why are you hesitant? And if your answer to that question is anything external, like, oh, I haven't got the money, oh, I don't know if this is the right time, oh, when I was a child, my mum didn't give me enough attention, whatever the reason is, that's the objection you're going to get on your calls. And if you can't deal with it in yourself, if you can't actually confront the deeper meaning of why you're blocking yourself, you're never going to be able to solve that for someone else. In terms of being on the fence about this, don't look at it like it's too expensive or whatever reason you're putting it up in your head. You need to look at it like, what mindset do you have to change to get out your own way? Which is what you said to me, which is why I joined the program.
If you could give either your past self or a closer that's perhaps currently in the space one piece of advice that you wish someone had given you sooner, what would it be?
My specific scenario is speaking to someone that really wanted to excel in corporate sales. I just have that identity. My dad was a corporate guy. I really bought into the whole grinding out 9 to 5, long hours in the office. The problem with that, and I'm telling you, you'll earn 150 grand a year and you're going to struggle to build any wealth. I'm just telling you that now. Anyone in your early to mid 20s, if you think earning 150, even 160, 170 grand a year in a corporate role means you're going to be monetarily comfortable, you're not. I'm telling you because I did it. You pay so much tax that it ends up not being worth it. So I'd say find a way to earn that money, PAYE, self-employed. You're going to keep a lot more of it. That's the one bit of advice I'd say. I'm a very practical person, as you can tell.
Practical's good, especially when you're practical, but you also apply yourself to resolve issues and problems. There's the key, combining practicality with action. I think that's a really good point to end it on. Have you got any final words that you'd like to leave for anybody watching?
Yeah, I think the final thing is that it's really difficult to tell the difference between the bro closers on Instagram and the people that are legit. And the best way to view it is actually look at their calls. And the thing about you is you've got your full calls on YouTube, like actually watch them. And if there's someone out there that you're looking at working with and you haven't seen a full call, don't even bother. That's the first thing I'd say. You need to watch their full call and see if they're any good.
100%. That is a gold gem of information and knowledge there, because
yeah, because I watched your stuff before. Yeah,
and there's people that I'm well aware of in this space who genuinely have effectively never closed at a high level and just claim they have, and it's just crazy to witness and see. Awesome, brother. It's been an absolute pleasure, Connor. Thanks a lot for taking the time to chat to me, and I'm sure that's been really insightful for everyone watching. And have a blessed rest of your day. I'll catch you later. Peace.